I spent the larger part of my primary school days outside my country, in a small French school. Every grade only had around 6 to 7 kids, and we were all very close. Partly due to the French education system, and partly due to just how few kids there were, our lessons were often very immersive, and we got to explore an array of topics we were interested in. Then, I came back home, and I was baffled to realize just how much worse the general state of the students was in terms of understanding what was taught. So much so that oftentimes I sat in the back of the classroom reading because it was just so much easier for me to understand the teacher, and I would end up getting bored. If this was a regular occurrence, it might have made sense. But I was only slightly above my classmates in my previous school. This made me understand the importance of proper learning. Isn't learning just incredible? We all start off as babies, unaware of the wonders of our world, unable to walk, talk, or even eat. Then we grow up and we become children. Tiny humans with so much curiosity, yet still unable to stand on our own feet. As we keep growing and maturing, we become teens, then young adults, then middle-aged, until we finally succumb to the harsh winds of time, withering like roses with age. One thing stays the same throughout this journey of life, unaffected by the tremendous changes we undergo. That is, of course, the fact that we keep learning. The fact, even if it slows down, even if we no longer put any effort into it, every day we encounter new things and our view of the world evolves bit by bit. I think this is one of the most incredible things about human beings. One thing I find really unfortunate, though, is that a lot of us seem to lose our curiosity once confronted by the harsh nature of adult life. This is, of course, to be expected to a certain degree, since an adult has a lot less to discover compared to a child and already has the basics of life figured out, therefore not needing to put as much effort or energy into learning new things. Even if this is the case, we cannot deny that for most people, anything beyond reading the news or seeing random information online is a thing of the past once they have completed their education. This is a problem because there are multiple studies, including one from the National Institute of Health, that suggests that adult learning can delay symptoms of cognitive decline, like Alzheimer's disease. So this actually proves the importance of learning throughout our lives, even when we get old. When we say learning, what do we actually mean? A lot of people think of learning as acquiring academic knowledge. In fact, the notion that the only truly valuable knowledge is that which we might find in textbooks is entirely false, and a misconception mostly prominent in older generations, due to them having lived most of their lives in a time where university degrees were still scarce, and a diploma was sufficient in most cases to find a well-paying job. Nowadays, though, employers seem to focus more on the competency of a person to do a task rather than certification, because degrees are all but too common. My prognosis for the future is that with the rapid developments in AI technology, we will need creative, artistic, and innovative people more than ever. And skills such as working in a group, adapting quickly to changing circumstances, and the ability to gather and use knowledge efficiently will become priceless assets in the workplace. So, learning any skills we are interested in, or diving deep into any topics that might spark our interest, like AI, black holes, or linguistic studies, and using the process of learning as an exercise to be able to do it efficiently is the true value of self-education. One last thing to dwell upon is the application of this to children and teens. Oftentimes, national curriculums used for the education of the youth are insufficient in teaching the valuable skills I mentioned before. What's more, kids might sometimes be discouraged when they try to teach themselves beyond the curriculum, and in some cases might even get rendered incapable of finding time for self-improvement outside their schoolwork because of the inhumane amounts of studying they're expected to do. Some good examples of this can be seen in some Asian countries like China, Korea, and Singapore. I would even give my own country, Turkey, as an example, due to our high school and university entrance exams. In other cases, usually in third world countries, children might not be able to reach the tools and resources necessary to self-educate, or might have trouble finding help from their teachers and parents. While these extreme examples must be addressed, we mustn't forget that basically everywhere in the world, the education system is designed to create the optimal worker. While this might have been the necessity some 70 years ago, in the modern world, it is an extreme disadvantage to be brought up by these systems, losing our creativity along the way. Very soon, we will no longer need any people to work in factories or fill out forms in an office all day. What we will need is people who are able to problem solve, work in groups, communicate, and think for themselves. While change isn't possible overnight, we can gradually overcome the curse of closed-mindedness and innovate. So, what can we do? Let's start with adults. By putting a mere 30 minutes worth of time into reading every day, the average person would be able to finish a book in about 2 weeks. Considering that the average screen time for adults around the world is more than 6 hours, according to the data portal, dedicating some of that time, which might be spent scrolling on social media or mindlessly watching videos, into self-improvement, would, in my opinion, be an excellent step to take for both personal and societal betterment. When it comes to aiding and encouraging education in the youth, there are a number of things that we can do. For example, a solution that I can present is that governments make their curriculums more suited for individuals' interests. This can be done at a low cost by adding a few hours of self-study classes a week, where students can study whatever they want with their teacher's guidance. Of course, the most important thing is to encourage children to seek knowledge. After all other efforts would be in vain if they themselves do not wish to learn. This task falls largely on parents and educators, especially for younger children. In conclusion, I think it is of dire importance that we realize the importance of learning for everyone, and we take steps to become more educated as a society, and consequently live better. In the process of doing this, we must strive to become more creative and evolve with our ever-changing world. Thank you.